Hello YouTube. Welcome to another installment of how to maintain a 1999 Dodge Intrepid. So what we've got going on here tonight is just a simple spark plug service here. So let's get started. First order of business is to disconnect the ignition coils. There's a release button here that you can push to release it, but as these cars have aged, the plastics are kind of tough, so we'll use a hook tool here or pick tool to just try to pull on the release tab so that we don't break it. So I'm just going to unhook or disconnect all of these coils. With the coil plugs out of the way, we will loosen all of the bolts here that hold the coils on. Those have a T25 Torx head. So I've got a T25 Torx socket on a 1/4" drive ratchet. We'll just use to loosen all of these. On this side, we'll have to disconnect the brake booster hose just to get some more space. Something that is completely optional, but I like to do, is to number the coils, just so I can keep track of where each component came from. So on this side, which is the passenger side of the engine, it's 1, 3, 5. And the other side is the even bank, so 2, 4, and 6. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. So from here, we'll need to use a spark plug socket. Here's the kit that I like to use most commonly. It's a gear wrench, magnetic tip, swivel head with the built-in extensions. These are pretty handy to have. I'll have a link to this set in the video description. But anyway, we'll use this. You don't have to use such a fancy type spark plug socket. A conventional socket with an extension will work just fine too. I tend to like to use a longer one, just keep my knuckles away from the engine. And if you have access to compressed air, you can blow each spark plug well here with air just to get any debris out of there. So now that we've gotten them broken loose, we'll just go one cylinder at a time. So this is an original Champion style plug. This is a platinum style spark plug. So this is just another tool that I like to use here, gap gauge. And as you can see here, it's like 64 thousandths. The gap for these is supposed to be set to 50 thousandths. So we'll go ahead and grab a new plug. So the plug that I'll be using today I got from my local O'Reilly's. Here's the part number. It's a NGK laser platinum, which is my favorite type of spark plug. And we just compare the two just to make sure the thread's the same and everything looks okay. These do come pre-gapped, and we're right at 50 thousandths, so no need to adjust the gap. So just reverse of how we removed it. Put the spark plug back in the spark plug socket. And this socket's really nice because it has that magnet in it, as opposed to the rubber boot that some other spark plug sockets have. Always threaded in by hand. Once you have that threaded in by hand, you'll want to torque that down. So basically go until it's just barely snug with your hand choked up on the ratchet. Or if you have a torque wrench, 13 foot-pounds. Typically, I don't even use a torque wrench, but just for the sake of the video, I'll use a torque wrench, but I don't have a foot-pound torque wrench that goes this low. So I'll just use my quarter-inch drive torque wrench here, set to 156 inch-pounds or 17.6 Newton meters. And I've got a little 1/4 to 3/8 adapter here. So you want to be square to the spark plug and just ease into the torque. It doesn't take much to get there. And as you can see, that's it. It's really, when you're on a conventional ratchet, just wrist pressure, basically. So we'll continue on and do the rest of these. So last one, this is the brake booster hose that I just pulled off of the intake manifold here just to give me a little bit more space. Generally speaking, there's not really too much else that's in the way. So for maybe that throttle cable, but typically your throttle cable, you can unclip it from its mounts here on the intake manifold and just get it out of the way. So we want to try to get this as square as we can, just so we can get accurate torque. And there we go. So now the next thing that we should do is just give a general inspection to the ignition coil. Just make sure there's no cracks or any signs of arcing. It'll normally look like kind of like a crack almost, like calcified crack. So pretty good shape here. The rubber here is starting to get kind of hard. So I'm going to elect to replace this on this car. It's 27 years old at this point. So to do that, you just kind of just pull the rubber off. We'll pull the rubber off and then we'll go grab another spark plug boot. So this was readily available at my local O'Reilly's. Here's the part number, and you can even see that it was made in the US, so not bad. So here's a new boot. Here's that conductor coil. All it does is it just sits in the boot until it hits the end there. It can't fall out the end here. And from here, you want to put the coil inside of that conductive coil inside of the ignition coil like this, and then slide that on here. That's generally all you need to do. So you might be able to see there, that's where the spark plug goes in. And another added measure that I like to do is I like to use electrical grease of some sort, just a silicone electrical grease. I'll put a little dab of it in here where the spark plug goes in, and I'll put a little dab around the spark plug boot here as well to just help it seal on the spark plug tube a little bit better. Doesn't take much, just a little goober like that. And from here, we'll just put it back over the cylinder. And you can feel the boot go into on top of that spark plug there. So now we're just buttoning up. All of these coil screws are tightened to 55 inch-pounds. Now we just carefully slide the electrical connectors back onto the coils. Okay, so this is the driver's side bank. We did disrupt some stuff here, so we'll just make sure we put the brake booster hose back where it's supposed to be here on the intake manifold. If you move this vacuum line here for the cruise control servo, you'll have to plug that back in. Same with the intake air temperature sensor, throttle cable, cruise control cable. Just make sure all of that is in the right spot. Now that we've double checked that everything has been put back in place, let's start the vehicle and make sure she runs on all 6 cylinders. As you can see, that wasn't too bad of a job, was it? Definitely a good way to ensure that these Chrysler 2.7s run as smoothly and optimally as they possibly can. I hope you liked this video in my Tips to Keep an Old Dodge Intrepid Alive series. Stay tuned to my channel for more videos like this. Thanks, and as always, have a great day.